Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I've got to tidy up a little bit before I can work on my junk journal. But here it is, and as you will recall if you saw the last video, you watched me do this spread here, which was all about the holidays, and this next set of 2 pages is also going to be about the holidays because it took me a while to finish the holidays. So the first thing I need to do is get all of my bric-a-brac and this and that's all together so I can see what I'm working with. Definitely not that magazine. But I had my mom start saving me magazines. But yeah, I have just a bunch of like wrappers from candies and cookies and things like that to work with here. I also got my nephew's new school photo, so I'm going to collage in his old one in this layout as well, and you'll just see me start picking up a bunch of junk. One thing of note is I saved this box wrap from my advent calendar because I kind of liked the little doors in it, and it had kind of a nice, plain, not terribly flashy design. So I wanted to think of a way to do something in the journal where I could hide bits and bobs underneath those little windows and kind of like be a little, oh, surprise, action there. So for using this, the first thing I need to do is to cut off the back and also cut the little front artwork in doorway spaces down to page size. I've got a little boo-boo here that I need to fix before I can continue, and I do that with just a little bit of double-sided tape. It was a bit risky because sometimes the double-sided tape will pull up the fibers, and it did a little bit in this case too. And now I'm finally ready to start cutting it down to page size. It was pretty easy to figure out. The only problem was that the windows fell a little funky if you were to cut the top to bottom section to page size. So what I had to do was I had to leave a little blank space at the bottom to have all the doors fit perfectly. And I decided to use it as an opportunity to use some of this Christmas cracker paper, which I felt was kind of pretty and had a little bit of gold foil embellishments on it. After trimming the Christmas cracker paper, it was time to glue down the little advent calendar doorway paper to the drawing paper beneath. For this, I just decided to go with the double-sided tape, the glue tape, and just hope for the best. The next thing to do was to figure out where I wanted to put all my little mementos. I ended up hiding that little Redbird mint wrapper underneath the lower right hand corner. I was able to still pull up the glue a little bit and then tamp that down. One thing I wanted to incorporate were these little joke wrappers, or well, papers that came inside the Christmas crackers. So I ended up deciding to fold them up and kind of hide them in each little window. It took a little bit of finagling, and at this point I was kind of wishing I hadn't glued the top advent calendar piece down as quickly as I had, because I could have kind of slipped them a little bit under the cardboard. I was able to do that in a few instances. And here comes a joke that is pertinent to the crafty people. Why can't Christmas trees knit? Because they're always dropping their needles. Yay! For the jokes, I really did kind of save the worst of the worst that kind of, well, I mean, they did make us laugh at the time, so I suppose they did their job. On top of the little joke papers that I tucked in here, I did also write a little message on the top, on the outside of the little joke packet. Just some little thoughts about Christmas again. And again here, back to my fixation with pretty wrappers. I saved a bunch of the gold foil from the Ferrero Rocher wrappers, because gold foil is pretty. Let's just face it, it is. I don't care whether it's trash. It still looks nice. That's why they package it in it. Anyway, I wanted to stick a little bit of that in here, so what I ended up doing was I cut down this piece of foil, and I did manage to finagle it under one of the doors here. For gluing the foil piece under there, though, I decided I was just going to go and use the glue gun, because I think that one was going to work the best. It did make a slight little bump under there, and then I had to really kind of use my fingernail to press the foil completely underneath the little doorway. After fussing with the foil and gluing everything down, I went and collected the little tiny Ferrero Rocher stickers off of the other wrappers, and I ended up just sticking them on the foil piece that was underneath the door. And I don't know why I did that, it just felt right. Next up, it was time to glue down the Christmas cracker paper, and to do that and get it nicely cut to size, I just folded it up inside the book and flopped it over and basically traced around the pages. And now I had a nice little cut line on the back of the paper so that I could cut it down to perfect size. Again, hot glue was kind of the best option for gluing the cardboard onto other cardboard and drawing paper, but I know you all know my thoughts on glue guns. I'd like to avoid it at all costs. But there are some instances where you kinda need it. After getting that glued down, I did notice that that piece was a little longer than the rest, so I just kind of took my scissors and carefully sliced it off. This did not happen during filming, but while I am sitting here editing this this video for YouTube here today, my dog is on my bed just constantly blowing it up over there, and it feels like I'm right in the downstream of the river of the farts, and it's very unpleasant. So know that I suffered for you. No, just kidding. But if you have dogs, you'll understand. Anyway, back on track, you'll notice that I start fussing with the foils again, and I did have the idea to try to add a little gold foiling to this little white house village design here. I was going to put some in the windows, and it did look really nice, and you'll see that here. But the problem is that the gluing of it on there, the glue that I had to use for this was pretty much my glue stick, because the hot glue makes too much of a lump underneath the foil and it would look bad. Yeah, so if anybody has any recommendations for gluing foil specifically, I'm definitely looking for that because it would have been nice to have been able to go to town a little longer on this and had a lot more of those windows filled with that gold paper. As it was, I got tired of it being fiddly for so long, so I switched gears and I started writing a little message under one of the windows. I wanted all of my windows to have a little bit something different, so it was a little more of a surprise. I know it'll be less of a surprise for me later, but you know, I figure maybe if I go back through this journal in like another year or two from now, it will kind of surprise me again, but I mean, as of right now, I know where everything is. I did, however, after my getting tired of gluing foil down, I got out my Posca pens and I decided to add a little more accents using the Posca pens, and I think that worked out pretty nice. It also got a little bit tedious, which is why the whole thing is not colored, but also I like the aesthetic of the white outline print on like the brown craft paper look. So with still trying to keep with that aesthetic, I just dabbed a little bit of the paint pens here and there and just added a little spot of color, nothing that would be too overpowering. Another thing I wanted to include underneath the little doorways were some of the pictures that I took in December. I actually had printed these out to fill up my calendar in my Hobonichi weeks. You know how people will put down a picture for each day. This particular set of prints printed way too large because it was my fault with the sizing. But I did make that layout, and if you're interested in seeing it, I will show it to you later. But yeah, so I wanted to take a few of the photos with the most important memories, I guess, of which was, you know, naturally of my nephew with his giant Eevee, his life-size Eevee. That was important. And, you know, just other little bits and bobs. Thankfully, I was able to fit a lot of the pictures. I was able to slide it underneath the cardboard, and I was able to glue them down pretty easily. So it wasn't too much of a hassle to get them underneath the windows. And here I will do a super mega speed up just to get through the rest of this page. And now, after neglecting the super cute cloud paper, it was finally time to work on the left side page. I fussed around with a few potential layout ideas until I finally ran across my Portillo's bag. When I saw that, I knew it would be perfect for this page because my nephew really loves to go to Portillo's as well as me. I really like to get their hamburgers there, but I don't as often get to go there because part of my family does not like it. Anyway, so I'm saving the good memory of Portillo's, and what I am going to do is take my bag here and create a little envelope that I can then stick all these little random bits and bobs of paper that I have in there as a little envelope. That way I don't have to figure out how to fit like paper crowns and stuff like that into another layout. I can just shove it all in there and then pull it out whenever I want to look at it. Also, I have to say the Portillo's little logo design here with the dachshund and the hot dog is very kitschy and cute and looks a little bit old-fashioned, but I think that's what makes it charming. And I think it works pretty well for a little Americana ephemera in your junk journal. I also liked the stripes from the top of the bag, so what I decided to do was to cut down the top of the bag to fit the top of the journal page here. And then I glued it down and slapped it on. I also found a nice little spot to put my nephew's picture, and then I started writing a few notes in the little clouds there, which was something I kind of wanted to do all along with the cloud paper, was to just use the white space of the clouds for writing. And now it was going to be time to populate the little Portillo's pocket there on the page. I cut down some of the cookie and candy wrappers that I wanted to save, and I stuck them in there. And perhaps more importantly, I wanted to save my little tissue paper crown that came out of one of my Christmas crackers that I did with my nephew. I still had this big sheet of the wrong size printout of the photos I took in December. So what I decided I was going to do with that, I got a little bit of leftover scrapbook paper, and I decided to make a little pull-out card where I could feature each of the images and then write a little message about what happened around that time. I had a little fun with it too, and I added some embellishments here and there and just tried to make it look as cute as possible. And basically I did this to all four sides of this little card that I made to stick in the pocket, and I basically did the same thing on each of the pages. I just put down some little memories and embellished it. And I will super speed here a little bit without any talking while I finish up the card. And voila, here we have the finished card, and it is time to tuck it into the little pocket. And I stuck it right in there, and I'm really liking how this page turned out. I'm liking it even better than the advent calendar page. And after this, I decided to go ahead and do some more embellishing on the page to kind of match the stuff that I did on the little card in the pocket. And basically I added a bunch of gold stars, and I put a little picture of Rosie up there next to my nephew because Rosie absolutely adores my nephew and he enjoys playing with her too, and I thought that they made a nice pair for this page. And if you want a little side story here, Rosie knows my nephew's name, which is Graham. And whenever we mention that he may be coming over, I need to be careful what I say because she is right behind me on the bed. But if we tell her he is coming over and we use his name, she will run to the front door and just wait there until he finally shows up. It's the cutest thing ever. I'm so glad that they get along so well, and he's able to have, you know, a dog for his childhood, even though it's my dog, but you know, what's the difference? Anyway, that is pretty much it for this video. The layout does not change much after this. The only thing is that I found a couple more bits, like a receipt and a little sticker from whenever we went to Winter Lights and that kind of thing, and I just tucked it in the pocket. Anyway, I want to thank you for watching, and if you've watched it all the way to the end, like, go you, congratulations, thank you. And be sure to like, subscribe, comment, you know, all that normal stuff that everyone asks you to do on YouTube. And I hope you will come back to see my videos in the future. Again, I'll keep on trying to do a video a week. I know I missed last week because of a migraine, but you know, life happens. Anyway, so that's pretty much it. I hope you all have a great day and have some fun journaling. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.